Hey, yo! It's a brand new edition of ACC Baseball Etc. presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Get ready for a new season of fishing fun with Academy Sports and Outdoors and reel in the best gear at low prices every day. Plus, Academy offers easy ways to shop and save time, like free 1-hour in-store or curbside pickup on academy.com orders. Welcome back, Daron Vaught, Danny Graves, the Miami Hurricanes and Cincinnati Reds Hall of Famer. We're glad you're here. Danny, you were in studio in Bristol. You had your first game call last week as well.
Yeah.
It is officially, if it wasn't already, it is officially the college baseball season for the working media person, Danny Graves.
Yeah. It's unbelievable because for so long, it was like me and you was my only kind of piece to college baseball for a while. But now that other sport that they bounce the ball around and shoot it in the hoop, now that that's over, I finally get to dress up. I finally get to fix my hair. Because I never fix my hair until I go into studio. So right. I'm always wearing a hat, obviously. So yeah, I got to fix my hair up. I did a game last week. I totally name dropped you, and apparently you didn't hear it.
I missed it. Yeah, that's my bad.
So our guy John from the ACC texted me right away because I said Professor Daron Vaught. So he texted me Professor with a bunch of laughing emojis. I'm like, yeah. He's a professor.
It is quite laughable. It is actually right before we went rolling on this. We had my class's last day of, meeting before final exam for the semester. So,
and your passing rate's 100% too, right?
It has. I'm like 3 years into this thing. I haven't failed anybody once. It's the best line I get to drop on the first day of classes is like, I've not failed anyone so far. Please do not make me. Please do not make me.
So yeah, the professor fits. It's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah.
So then, all right. So how was the studio? Getting comfy back in that seat.
It was nice. Studio's always good. I have so much fun there. Just we could watch 1,000 games all at once. All the games that we want. We can mute whoever we don't want to listen to and hear who we do want to listen to. You weren't doing any games, so I was kind of screwed. We got stuck with Gabby Sanchez and our guy Mike Farron, so I had to listen to them, which they're always great, of course.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, studio was great, man. Got to see a bunch of games, a bunch of 10-run rule games, but it did snow in Bristol, which was so bizarre. Yeah, I don't understand it.
Were you prepared for the snow or no?
No, I was prepared for the cold because I checked the temperature and said it was going to be cold, but like the snow, thankfully it was overnight and I didn't have to worry about walking or driving in it. But still, like snowing in April, thought that only happens in like Chicago.
It's bananas. We don't get it out of here. We don't need it at all.
No.
Well, okay. So you got sort of the bird's eye view of the league this weekend. Why don't we let you start? What was your maybe biggest sweeping takeaway?
So I'm pretty sure we talked about this last week. The Florida State starting pitching, not named Jamie Arnold, kind of got handed to them against Wake Forest, right? The weekend prior. Joey Vellini and Wes Mendez both had their only bad outings of the year. Yeah. And they weren't just bad. They got waffled. So my kind of concern was going into this weekend against Virginia Tech, who was one of the hotter teams in the ACC at the time. Like, are they going to get back on track? Or how easy are they going to rebound? Well, guess what? It was very easy for them to rebound. And that's not a knock on Virginia Tech. It was just a contribute to their determination to be better than they were last time. So now it's back to Jamie Arnold, Joey Vellini, and Wes Mendez dominating in that rotation. So, that's one of the things. I know we talked about this too. North Carolina did what we said that they haven't been able to do all year.
Yeah.
Put up a ton of runs, and they scored like 72 runs in 3 games. It was ridiculous. Their offense is just unbelievable right now.
I'm looking at it one of two ways. either we have developed a pattern of saying that something is the case, and then immediately afterward, it sort of turns on its head with us, or a lot more people and players and coaches perhaps listen to the show than we thought, right? Because what if I in particular have been talking about for the past couple of weeks, my disenchantment with the North Carolina offense. And it's, look, Luke Stevenson's great. Hunter Stokely's great. I think King Kepley's a really capable leadoff batter. They have to get it from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Prior to the season starting, on our preview episode, I came dangerously close. I actually don't remember if I mentioned him or not. But I had the thought that Gavin Gallagher with a breakout season for North Carolina could be a dark horse ACC player of the year kind of guy. So we get through 29 games this season, okay? Their first 29 games of the season. Gallagher had only 5 extra base hits.
Oh.
In this past week, he hit 5 home runs in 5 games.
Yeah.
If he's going, I'm not saying it gives them the best lineup in college baseball or even a lineup that is as dynamic as it was last year, but it goes a long way toward making them more formidable offensively and giving that excellent pitching the run support that makes them a very dangerous team. They've now won. Again, they swept Wake Forest. That's now 4 series victories in ACC play in a row after dropping their first 2, remember, and they didn't get out of the top 25, but there was concern.
Yeah.
They outscored Wake Forest 31-4 in 3 games.
Yeah.
That's not just eking by. That's a loud weekend performance.
Yeah. So I'm saying they did watch us and they said, guess what, guys? Wait till you see us this weekend. But yeah, Gallagher, if you get that kind of production from somebody in the 6 hole, how deep does it get? Now you got the bottom half of the lineup driving in runs and hitting the ball out of the ballpark. But I think we also got to give some love to Vanderbrake. Jackson Vanderbrake is I'm so happy for this dude because 2 years ago he was all ACC team, and last year he barely got into the lineup after struggling so poorly. And now he's back in playing every day and he's hitting again. Getting overlooked by Stokely and Gallagher this weekend, but he's still a big piece of this offense. But to see them score that many runs, that's a dangerous combination. Of course, they're not going to score close to 40 runs every series that they play. That's not going to happen.
Right.
But it doesn't have to happen because their pitching is so good. They're starting pitching and their bullpen.
Again, a few weeks ago, I did their series with Miami, and it was just like neither team wanted to score in that series. And it screamed, man, if they could just put together 5 or 6 runs, they're going to dominate a lot of games.
Yeah. So
I think, and Gallagher, of course, is, I think, the likely ACC player of the week from the hitter side. That's yet to be announced at the time when we're doing this, but you don't score 31 runs in a weekend because of one guy. So I think your point about Vanderbrake's emergence or reemergence is well taken, and it's important for the team. In addition to the solid pieces that they had there. So it's just, this was a lineup that Scott Forbes said early on was very capable of being dynamic and scoring a lot of runs. And it came together against Wake Forest. Yeah. At the very least, it came together over the weekend. We'll see looking forward, but it is a very, very positive sign for North Carolina.
Yeah, because I know there was people always talk about Vance Honeycutt being gone, Casey Cook being gone. Anthony D'Onofrio being gone. Those are some big bats that they lost in this lineup. So obviously they're and the first baseman. I can't remember the first baseman's name from last year that took over for
Parks
Stokely.
Harbor.
Parks Harbor had a great year offensively. So now it's like you say that you're going to have a good offense, but where's it coming from? Where are you going to get it from when you lose 4 big players like that? But here we go. They showed us. They showed us how easy it was for them to score runs. And it wasn't against a midweek lower level D1 team either.
No.
Like this is against a team that has been playing very well and has, their pitching has been doing very well. But they Chris Lavonis, the freshman kid, great arm, great stuff. They put it to him pretty good. Logan Lunsford, great year up to this point. They put it on him pretty good too. So like this offense, it's like the better the pitching is, it seems like, we're going to get it.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is, they did to Wake Forest basically what Wake Forest did to Florida State.
Yeah.
A week ago.
Yep.
So as we discuss the competitive nature of the league, that's a fine example of some of the better teams exchanging haymakers. But Florida State, to get back to your first takeaway, on the road in Blacksburg at number 25, Virginia Tech. Blacksburg's not always an easy place to play, even when Virginia Tech's not particularly competitive, especially on a weekend like this. You mentioned the snow in Bristol. There was a little bit of a cold front. I actually went up and saw some friends in Roanoke, Virginia, and went back home and saw my parents. And so I was up in that area. It got kind of cold. It was not a comfortable baseball weekend.
So did you go to the Food City 500?
No.
The race in Bristol?
No, I didn't. I was enjoying time with friends.
Yeah.
I played a terrible round of golf yesterday at my hometown course where
it's okay. You played. Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It was the first time I had swung a club in like a calendar year, probably. So
nice.
It had been a while. And let me tell you, when you come to peace with the fact that you're not going to be good if you don't play regularly, it's way more enjoyable to shoot 100, right?
Yeah. Dude, so I know we're getting off track, but that's what the etc. is. My take on golf, anytime I go, whether I go frequently or once every 5 years, if I have one legit shot that is good, I'm coming back. If it's a chip in, if it's a pit, if it's a pitch, something,
it's funny you say that. I was explaining to my friend who I grew up with, who I was playing with, and he moved back home, and he actually just had his first child. So I met the boy, and he's like 4 months old. So it was great. It was good to catch up with him. But we were playing, and he's the type that grew up with it, plays once a week at least, and is a pretty good golfer. So I explained to him, I'm playing so infrequently that pretty much like 1 out of every 10 strokes, it's like a legitimate competitive golf shot. And so, you start playing more often. It's like, okay, if I'm playing every couple of weeks, the baseline might be every 6 or 7 out of 10, and that drastically affects the score. So I had a hard time getting to the green on a certain hole, but I chipped in for a par at one point. And it was, easily the best shot of the day. Did exactly little bump and run, did exactly what I wanted it to do. I was like, okay, all right, it's still in there.
Yeah.
It's just not happening every swing because I'm not playing that much. So
right. If it happens once out of 100 shots, then okay. We're in.
I'm okay with it. I can live with that. So anyways, that's my
good golf. Good golf is boring though. Right down the middle. That every time that would be so boring.
You don't get your money's worth.
No.
You got to take more swings to get more bang for your buck.
That's
right.
What I think. That's right. Yeah.
So a great bounce back for Florida State, given what happened to them last weekend, and to see the starting pitching back into form. I think between Arnold and Vellini, they gave up 2 runs in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
The starting pitcher,
Mendez gave up 1 run also.
Yeah. So, I mean, you think about it, over the span of a weekend on the road against a ranked opponent, you give up 3 runs in your starting pitching, and they went at least 5 2/3 each, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah. Arnold was my vote for ACC pitcher of the week. He went 7 and struck out 9.
Yeah.
So, really positive sign for them. And you know, I think to a degree, the chaos is still there.
Yeah.
To another degree, the cream is rising to the top in the league.
Right.
Florida State road sweep. Only road series win in the conference this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina sweep against an otherwise, we think, very good Wake Forest team.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson took 2 out of 3 from Stanford. They're up to number 3 in the D1 top 25 rankings. And they just continue to roll on, man. Clemson's the last team in the conference to not lose a weekend series.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy how, I don't even know what the word is for it, because like watching them, especially which game, I think it was Saturday's game, the 11-10 game.
Yep.
I think Darden might've started that game. Ethan Darden started, and then let me pull that up. And it was ugly it seemed like for Clemson. And like, how are these guys even still in this game? Trevor Haskins was 4 for 6 in that game.
He had a monster weekend. Haskins, I mean, he's Stanford's team leader in home runs, I think, with 11.
Uh-huh.
He's had a great year.
Yeah, monster year, not just monster weekend. But yeah. I felt so bad for him. One of his at-bats, he got called out on a 3rd strike for not making eye contact with the pitcher in the certain amount of time. The pitch clock thing. And
action clock violation, huh? Okay.
I'm like, seriously. Okay, I get it that's a rule, and maybe the 1st or 2nd strike, but don't call somebody out because they did that to Tag Davis in our game last Tuesday. I'm like, dude, have a little bit of grace with 2 strikes. And this is a pitcher. Like, of course I want a free strikeout, but like, I don't know that. I don't like that, but I know this is the rule. But anyways, I felt bad for Trevor Haskins. And then later on, he just got more hits after that.
Yeah. He crushed another one, went back right back to it. So
no big deal. But yeah, so Stanford, I think, had a chance to really put that game away. Christian Lim came in for a couple innings. He only threw 2 innings, but he was the only one to really pitch well against Clemson's lineup, shut him down. Then they took him out, and then Clemson started scoring more runs. So, but Clemson just knows how to get it done. I know that sounds so generic, but
they are such a cliche machine, not in that they are producing cliches, but I have no choice but to talk in cliches when I talk about this team. They 11-10, you mentioned it. They haven't lost a weekend series, and they continue to play these close games, but they win every single one of them.
Yeah. And they have like 15 or 16 come from behind wins, the most in the ACC. Like,
yeah.
And I know Bakich does, like, he's quietly saying, that's just who we are. Not a big deal. I guarantee it's extremely stressful. He's such a laid back dude, though. Like, it's like, come on, man. Like, just let's get a lead and hold it. I don't like coming from behind all these games. This is not good.
But it's become part of their identity. And
right.
It bodes really well when we start talking about postseason play, because they're not going to flinch in a close game environment.
Right.
Most teams by that point have played close games.
Yeah.
But not at the frequency and not with the success rate that Clemson has played. And man, I mean, they had some big weekends. It's just kind of like, it's a really well-balanced offense too, right? Because I think we all probably would have said we expected Cam Cannarella to be more of a producer offensively this season. Not that he's not doing that. Not that he hasn't played his part.
Well, we expect him to hit 450 with 15 jacks by now.
Yeah, or be in the mix for ACC Player of the Year.
Yeah,
Yeah. And yes, he was on the Golden Spikes Award midseason watch list. I think a lot of that is giving him the benefit of the doubt, or knowing that how capable he is. In the next 3 weeks, he could improve his numbers so much if he gets locked in.
Yeah,
that maybe he is in that race. But the truth is, he's not. So they're getting it from everywhere. Yeah. I love the left side of their infield. Jaron Purify at second base too. I love their infield. I'm on the record for almost a complete calendar year now as to saying that my favorite middle infield is
there's too many
Florida
good
States because of Lodis at shortstop.
Yeah.
But Andrew Chufo at shortstop and Jaron Purify at second is right there as well.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about Purify's defense. He's been hitting in the 3-hole behind Canarella. And I mean, I would go out on a limb and say that has a lot to do with the numbers that he's putting up offensively, hitting with Canarella on base. And then you have Priest who's hitting cleanup behind him. So if Canarella's on base, pretty good chance you're going to get more fastballs, even though he's maybe not stealing a ton of bases, but you're going to get more fastballs to hit. And with Priest hitting behind you, hitting the ball out of the ballpark, I mean, you could get better pitches to hit too. So he's mixed in perfectly in that lineup. And people are like, why is Purify hitting third? He hit ninth last year. He's in a great spot right now. And it works for this lineup.
I like Josh Pano defensively as well.
Yeah.
And he's down toward the bottom of the order most days for them. He's been
productive. He crushed one. He broke scoreboard nearly the other night. He put a charge into it.
And Jacob Jarrell, who's been, one of the breakout guys for them this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had a 4 home run week.
He almost knocked the cameraman off of their stand up in center field the other night, Saturday. That ball was so torched. It was. You
crazy. And I both work with TV crews.
Yeah,
that's got to be the most empathetic I will ever be. It is that, and when it's this is less of an issue with baseball, but more with like football in the fall. People when it is freezing cold out.
Yeah,
but I also feel for them having just like balls rocketed toward them, and it happens less in center field and more so for like the people down the lines in first and third, and they a foul ball gets pulled or whatever, and sometimes those can get scorched.
But the ones down the lines, they can at least maybe turn, but the one in center field, it's facing home plate, and if the ball's coming right at you and you're following it, like how are you going to get the depth perception if it's going to hit you or not? Like it was right at them,
I guess on the bright side, you do have it's twofold. On the bright side, you've got this humongous piece of equipment in front of you, kind of blocking you.
Yeah.
But the downside is you get this humongous, pretty expensive piece of equipment in front of you.
Yeah. Either way, he crushed it. It was amazing.
So those are bouquets being tossed to Florida State, Clemson, and North Carolina.
Yep.
There's another one I know you were very eager to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Continues to roll. They are, where were they? In the 14th, I think, maybe, in the newest D1 rankings as of this morning. Hold on.
14, yep.
14. They're just good. We talked about them as if they were a surprise toward the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They have new guys stepping up every week, it seems. Yeah. Obviously, we know the big players. They did the damage they did this weekend without Kyle Lodis. Schmidt's not playing either this weekend. They had some guys step up in some big spots.
Yeah, Von Lackey hitting leadoff, catcher hitting leadoff, and in one of those games he had a leadoff homer.
Yeah,
like Danny Hall swan song. Everything's working. You put somebody here, they're doing it. The biggest thing for me, I don't know why this guy doesn't get more love. Alex Hernandez, freshman second baseman / pitcher. He hasn't pitched much, but he's hit. This dude has hit. He's hitting 355 on the year. But this weekend, well, actually the whole week, their midweek game was against Auburn, who at the time was ranked 11th. I don't know what they're ranked right now, but at the time they were ranked 11th.
Yeah, huge. It was a part of that grouping of we had a lot of fun ACC SEC midweeks
matchups. Yeah. Which is so stressful. Like midweek is supposed to okay, let's figure out how to get guys healthy for the weekend, how to get pitchers some work. But no, it's like
you and friend of the show Danny Wexelman, you mentioned it earlier. You guys had one of the maybe the only ACC win in those games, but there were so many that were they were all one-run games. It felt like
and ours was a walk-off. It was great. Eddie King Jr. walked them off after they were down 1 going into the 10th inning, and they came back, and it was a great game. I got to see a lot of great plays. Lucas Moore robbed a home run early in the game. Just Louisville looks really good. Regardless, I know they lost 2 of 3 to NC State this weekend, but NC State's put up a ton of runs, but Louisville actually put up more runs over the whole weekend than NC State did. But so their offense is great. Their pitching struggled obviously a little bit. But anyways, going back to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So the game against Auburn, Hernandez was 2 for 4. So 2 hits in his last 2 at bats. So going into the weekend, Friday night against Cal, he was 4 for 4 with a home run. Saturday, 3 for 4, 3 runs scored, and 2 doubles. So I've gone over this over and over, my math, trying to get my math right, Professor. Last 2 at bats, 2 hits. The next game, 4 straight hits. The next game, 3 more hits in a row. That's 9, right? 9 for 9 with 4 runs scored, 0 strikeouts all week last week, and a home run. And he doesn't get nominated for Player of the Week. And I'm not saying he had the best week or he would have beat Gavin Gallagher, but how can he not be on the nomination list? Let's go, Georgia Tech.
So wait, hold on. Let's do some more math. What were those lines on the weekend?
So Friday, 4 for 4 with a homer.
4 for 4. Got it.
Saturday was 3 for 3, 4 runs scored and 2 walks.
Okay. So it's 7 for 7.
So, and then going back to Tuesday, because that counts as this week, right?
Yeah.
He was 2 for 4, but got hits in his last 2 at bats.
Okay. So that's 9 for 11 over 3 games. What did he do Sunday?
0 for 4.
Okay. All right. Okay. Still, that's 9 for 15.
15? Yeah.
For the weekend. That's
zero strikeouts. Yeah. But just the fact that there's 9 straight hits with a couple walks mixed in. So he reached base 11 straight times. I just need a nomination. I'm not saying he would have won, but come on. What are we doing here?
I think it was going to be tough to beat Gallagher, right?
Of course.
5 homers in 5 games.
Listen,
sure.
Gallagher, my vote would have been Gallagher.
Yeah.
But give the kid some love, dude. Georgia Tech, what are we doing here? Did you not know that he was 9 for 9?
You know what? It's okay. It's okay. We're going to pick it up for you. And that's what we're doing here. We're giving him some love.
Yes.
We're giving him some love.
He deserves it, man. He deserves it.
He is a not so dark horse for ACC Freshman of the Year.
Yeah.
You mentioned Tage Davis of Louisville earlier. He's in the conversation.
Couple home runs Saturday in that game, I think.
Yeah. That could be a pretty interesting race. When coming into the season, what we all thought Rentaro was going to be the easy pick, right?
Right.
And not that he's had a bad season. It's just not been set the world on fire like we maybe thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Hernandez, 10 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you mentioned his 355 batting average. I mean, he's been a huge part of Georgia Tech's success, especially over the weekend, again, with some missing pieces from their lineup.
Yeah. And there's two guys that are ahead of him in RBIs, Merrick Houston and his teammate Drew Burris. They both have 46. He has 45 RBIs as a second baseman as a freshman in the ACC. I mean,
pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah. Anyways, there's my rant for Alex Hernandez.
I like it. No, that's fair. NC State, worth covering a bit here.
Yeah.
I don't know how close. Maybe I need to probe the D1 group chat and see how close they are to working their way back into a top 25 conversation. But I would have to imagine they're close-ish. They've turned it on. They look like a top 25 team now. Yes.
Especially with probably the best Sunday starter, or one of the best Sunday starters.
Look, I have sung my Ryan Marone praises. He was awesome again this weekend. I think a more important thing is we've talked about getting Jacob Duden back to being Duden-like.
Being a
he
dude.
Had 2 outings this week, a huge one where he went 4 innings. In the weekend series. And he was that back and forth 12-11 final score game. And it felt like no pitcher was stopping the opposing team. And then he comes in and is shut down for 4 innings. I mean, it was, he looks good. That's a huge deal for them. And we had questions about their offense earlier in the season. That's come together in a really nice way. And I think it's still a work in progress, right? Like they're kind of shuffling pieces around still. They moved DeCrisio from the leadoff spot. But they're getting everybody comfortable with roles, which was I think just going to be a matter of time.
Yes. Just a matter of time is exactly right. Like, I think that's kind of what happens when you have a coach like Elliott Avent. Like, he's not going to just let it be not good and stay not good. I'm trying to say this like in a kind way. Like, he knows what he's doing.
I think the other side of that is he's not going to panic.
Right. Exactly.
We saw him in Jacksonville early in the season, and that was not a good weekend for them. It was not a good week for them. It was part of, they lost all 3 games there at the Jacks Classic, and it was part of losing 5 straight games, I think. And ultimately, it's what took them out of the top 25. And, he was not pleased with their performance, but he has an air about him when you see him in those settings. I think he's very aware, man, it's a long season. We got, we've got the guys to do it. It's just about us figuring out what we need to figure out, them figuring out what they need to figure out, and it coming together. And we've got time to do that.
Yeah. And, looking at the game that Fritton started, so he goes 2 2/3, gives up 6, 5 earned. Willitson comes in for inning and a third, gives up 4. So if you were to tell me that those 2 guys give up 10 combined runs in the first, 4 innings, and then they won that game,
in the series, nuts. Right? Like that's 2 of your best arms burned, and you still win the series.
Yeah, unbelievable. But this, you never count out Elliott Avent, man. That's our guy.
You can't.
Like you can't.
You can't. What else do we have here? I'm going to see BC this week at Wake Forest.
At Wake, right? Yeah.
They had a series victory over Notre Dame.
Miami series victory over Duke.
And they lost the Griffin Hughes start in that series and still got 2 of 3 from the Blue Devils. So I've said it. It's not – I don't know what it means for this season, but I like the group. I like the way JD and his staff have put that together. It feels like in any other league, what they did probably works pretty well. And they've got a conference favorite, but unfortunately you're in you're in the
Gauntlet.
ACC, and it's going to be a battle every week.
Yeah.
And I say any other league. SEC fans, do not come after me. I get it. They might not be great in the SEC yet either. I get it. But that's a huge sign of progress. So a series victory against a team like Duke that is, kind of fighting for their season sounds a little dramatic, but they're hungry and in need of some series wins.
Yes. Them and Virginia both are in need. And Virginia did get a series win against Pitt, but yeah, I think the rest of the season, these two teams, that's what they need. They need to figure out how to just get series wins against this teams in this conference to make their resume look a little bit better when it comes time.
I haven't seen this is being a bad host of me. I haven't looked at updated RPIs. I know at a point last week before games started, the ACC was the only league in the country with all teams in the top 80, I think is what it was. Actually, our guy John O at the ACC, I saw him tweet that last week. So there's opportunity to improve on your resumes. And that being said, teams like Virginia and Duke have decent resumes.
Yeah.
So
so Virginia knocked down to 85 in RPI. So that's the lowest.
Okay. Interesting.
For the ACC. Yeah.
Interesting. They were it'll be interesting to see over on the main D1 baseball podcast feed. They'll do the Nerdcast again this week and project the field. I wonder how that update affects a new field, because Virginia and Duke were both in the last time they did it. Now, Duke obviously lost a series, so maybe I don't know how close to the edge they were, according to the estimations of Mark Etheridge and company. They do a really good job with that, but it'll be interesting to see how that changes things.
Well, Duke only dropped 2 spots to 43 in RPI. And
so
there's right above them.
Still really high.
Yeah. Notre Dame's at 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be interesting. When is the Nerdcast?
Some point this week. I don't know when they'll do that.
Do they print that on the site, or is that just
it'll be the new projections. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to save their arguing about it and whatever, you'll see the projections. That's what it'll be up. So
okay. Yeah. I want to see and hear.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be great.
For sure. I'm going to take this opportunity to quickly chime in here about Virginia.
Okay.
I'm still a believer. That's it. That's all I'm saying until next week. I'm still a believer. You're back in Bristol this weekend, yes?
Back in Bristol. Be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yep.
Excellent. Listen for me and Larry Sorensen, BC at Wake, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
You're doing all 3 games?
We got all 3.
Okay.
ACC Network Extra. Would love if you tuned in. I got games this week. I'm excited. I've got Tuesday midweek UNC Wilmington and East Carolina. That's not an ACC matchup, but obviously 2 teams that proximity wise play ACC midweeks a lot. Should be pretty good. So I got that on ESPN. Yeah, that's the etc. Yeah,
etc. You don't have to call just ACC games. You can be etc.
I call sometimes some etc. games. Yeah, exactly. So that one's at Clark LeClaire, which is always a fun place to do a game, and we'll be on ESPN Plus. So I got 4 games this week, just like that. I had a weird couple of weeks without them, and we're back.
And the broadcasting universe says, that's it. Now it's time to work again.
Yeah.
Professor, no more time off.
What's that? You went and saw your parents for the first time since Christmas?
Wait, you played golf too? Oh, no. Yeah.
I think, unless you got something else, that's for ACC talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I got for now.
This is a bad job on my part with no name prepared for Hall of Name.
Well,
so I'm gonna tee you up.
Okay.
How should we approach a Hall of Name segment? Who do you want to talk about?
I was gonna say we could double up next week.
Okay, we could do that.
Because I'm trying to think of anything that we talked about today.
I got one. Well,
What do you got?
I don't know that you guys overlapped. Hold on. Let me just make sure of this.
Well, spit it out. I'll tell you.
I'm starting to doubt myself that you guys overlapped.
You remember how old I am?
The same age. Of course you did. Did you ever play Mark DeRosa? He was named World Baseball Classic Team USA manager for the second year in a row.
DeRo. Yes, we overlapped quite a bit. He played a lot longer than I did. I think I might have came up a little bit before him, but
he debuted in '98, so I guess that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, a couple years.
Okay.
But I don't know how many times I faced him. I know one time I faced him. He came. I don't know if he was pinch hitting or he played the game. It was when he was with the Braves. He had a 10 hopper up the middle for a single. But I don't know. Geez. I know. See, now you're going to make me want to check.
All right. Well, thankfully, I'm pretty quick with the stat head.
Uh-huh.
So I've got it. I've got your career numbers.
Okay. What?
Six plate appearances.
6?
Yep.
Not very memorable ones. That's odd because I remember a lot of that.
Yeah, you do. You normally remember a lot more than that. They were like rather pedestrian. All right, so here's how they went.
Okay.
All but one of them were matchups. You were with the Reds, he was with the Braves. Twice in a span of 4 days, you faced him in 2001, July.
Okay.
Ground ball single up the middle.
That's the one I remember.
No, wait. Ground ball single. It doesn't say where. So I don't think that's the one you remember. I think there's another one down here that I think is the one you remember. So single in his first plate appearance against you.
Okay.
Then you got him to ground out to third. That was the 2 times you faced him in 01.
Okay.
In 03, you faced him 3 times in a game.
Oh, because I started that year.
Because you were starting. So May 20th, you faced him 3 times. Man, that was a weird game for him against you. You hit him with a pitch.
Take that.
He reached on an error on a ground ball to short.
Uh-huh.
And then he singled up the middle, ground ball through deep shortstop second base hole.
See, that's not the one I remember actually.
Oh, okay.
It's the first one. And I don't remember. I didn't remember that he even played that game. I do know that Andrew Jones hit one about 5,000 feet off me.
Hold on, I'm going to pull up this game now.
Upper deck in left field. I struck out Chipper Jones in the first inning.
Okay.
And I was in line for the win. And then I think somebody gave it up.
You know what's interesting? The Andrew Jones home run is accurate.
Does it say how far?
No, I'd like to be able to find that. I don't know that Baseball Reference could take me there. So
it was far.
He was Jones was 1 for 4 with a home run.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine pitching against a lineup that has Andrew Jones hitting 5th.
Right. So who was hitting 4th?
Chipper was 4th.
Oh, really? So who hit 3rd then?
Gary Sheffield was a Brave that year.
Oh my gosh.
This is insane.
By the way,
you were tasked
that was against Maddox, right? Maddox started that game. I was 1 for 2 off him.
Yep, Maddox started that game. You finished the game 1 for 3 at the plate.
Yeah. And a run scored. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember Maddox, I got a hit off Maddox. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done.
Griffey homered off of Maddox in the 4th inning. So that got your Andrew Jones home run back. So this lineup, dude, I don't know what happened but DeRosa came into the game after 1 plate appearance for Marcus Giles.
Did I hit him?
You didn't hit Giles. He was 0 for 1 and then came out of the game. I don't wonder if he got hurt or something. So that's how you faced DeRosa 3 times.
Okay.
I can't believe you had to deal with Sheffield, Chipper, Andrew Jones in sequence. That's like how you're in any Hall of Fame is incredible work by you.
Listen, that game, I don't remember the line score, but somebody gave up my runners on base to make the line score look worse than it was, but I feel like I was in line for the win that game. I don't know if we ended up winning that game or not.
I don't have a great way to see if you were in line for it. You guys did. 9-8 was the final.
Okay. Is there the box score have a blown save from somebody?
Scott Williamson got the save. Scott Sullivan got the win. Let me see. Blown save. It doesn't say.
Oh my gosh. Did Andrew Jones hit a homer off Sullivan too? Or is there only 1 homer that game?
Just the 1 home run.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. I mentioned that top of the order. 2 batters later, Vinny Castilla was playing third base. Vinny Castilla hit 2 home runs and drove in 4.
That's what it was. Castillo hit a home run off Scott Sullivan and blew the lead. That's what it was.
Castilla hit 1 off of you in the 7th, and he hit 1 off of Sullivan in the 8th.
Okay.
With 2 on and 2 out.
Oh, the one off me, he wall scraper maybe. Barely got. I don't remember the one that he hit off me. That's odd because I usually remember the home runs.
Yeah.
I just remember Andrew Jones, like it was upper deck in Great American Ballpark. Upper deck almost to the scoreboard. Like it was it wasn't even funny. Like it was so far.
I can't. It's just, this has me thinking about the era in which you pitched and some of the lineups you faced at various points. I mean, it's amazing. Like, kudos. I know, like, you know, you have my respect, but holy cow. Kudos. What a career.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that, but Sheffield, Chipper, and Andrew Jones.
Chipper, Andrew Jones.
And Castillo in the bottom.
All 3 were like prime-ish too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you had watered down versions of them.
Yeah. So and Chipper, I know I struck him out in the 1st inning. And somebody, like there was a tweet between me and Chipper one day. I was saying that there's certain songs that come on and it brings up nightmares about player entrance music. So whenever Ozzy Osbourne song came on, what's the name of it? Crazy Train? Yeah. It's like Chipper Jones. Oh, like you just got that feeling Chipper Jones is coming up. So, well, he tweeted back and said, well, you're not any fun day at the beach either, or something like that. So some dude tweeted, he only got 1 hit off of you, 1 for 8 or 1 for 7 or something. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't tell you all the hard hit ones that were out. It just says that 1 hit he got. I said, but I did strike him out once.
There you go.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so back to D-Row, just to put a bow on it.
Yeah.
2 for 4 all time against you. 2 ground ball singles. 2 ground ball singles, and you hit him and walked him.
Oh.
So you you got him to ground out the one time, and the other time you got him to he should have grounded out. It was a error. So
okay. So I can tell you that I didn't hit him on purpose. There were like if
I guess it does need to be clarified, right? Sometimes,
yeah, because if we run into one of those in the future, I'll tell you if there was any reason for it. But yeah, I didn't do it. There was no reason to hit DeRosa. Yeah, one just got away. Honestly,
gotcha. All right, well, this is not what Andrew Jones was hitting with when he went 500 or so feet at Great American Ballpark against you. But for you ball players who want to upgrade your swing with the 2025 Soldier Tank Series from Soldier Sports, the BB Core model is built with infused power alloy technology and an ultra hot sweet spot that packs power even on mishits. If you're looking for extra control, the two-piece BB Core version delivers extreme whip and leverage. And for rising stars, the USSSA Youth Bat brings elite performance in a youth-friendly design backed by 2.5 years of research. It's time to drop tanks with the tank. Visit soldiersports.us. I realized as we were talking about big home runs, that I needed to get that in for our friends at Soldier Sports. So there it is. Under the wire. It's in.
That was perfect. That really was a perfect time to say it.
It worked. Yeah. It worked. We do that here. We make things work.
That's right.
We also both work. Like work. We're working this week, baseball. So
yeah. Hey, and we may even I wonder if we cut into one of your games. I guess if it's not linear.
No, that wouldn't happen. Remember, the only time that ever came close to happening when I was on a digital game was when I think it was Duke Louisville at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. They lost power.
Yes.
And I was doing a game at North Carolina with Paul Shuey.
Yeah.
And you texted and you were like, hey, we might pop onto your game.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because that was the whole plan. Yeah. When the lights went out, they said, okay, plan B. I'm like, oh, hurry. I tried to hurry up and text. Yeah.
I think that was also a Boston College series. Mike Gambino, before in his last year at BC, before he took the Penn State job, they won a series in Chapel Hill. And it was, I mean, there were some great games in that. It was exciting. So that would make sense if that was it.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, anyways, pop me on in the studio.
Yeah.
Again, your friend Larry Sorensen will be there too. Boston College at Wake Forest. One's trying to bounce back. One's trying to keep it rolling. You know, ACC and X. That's what they do this time of year. And then Tuesday night, UNC Wilmington, East Carolina on ESPN Plus. Little local non-conference rivalry. That'll be fun too. And everybody pull up ACC Network and hang out with Gravy and the crew over the weekend.
And check out Bradley Smart too on D1 because it's insane.
ACC Extra.
That's right.
If you're not subscribed, get it.
It's
I actually saw a banner on our little internal site here. Omaha 30 is the promo code at d1baseball.com if you want to get 30% off. I mean, that's
Omaha promo codes are ready.
We're already. It's on the brain. Omaha on the brain already.
Yeah.
Omaha 30 for 30% off of a subscription if you just happen to be a laggard and you're not in on one of those yet. So anyways, enjoy the games. Danny and I will talk to you around this time next week. He will be fresh off of some time in Bristol in studio, and I'll have done 4 games in 5 days. And Easter will have occurred by then as well. So happy Easter, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.